millions visit Prague, and most of them miss out on the best experiences the city has to offer. They get stuck in endless lines at Prague Castle, overpay for meals and tourist traps, and never discover the quiet corners where the city feels truly magical. Don't be one of them. In this video, you'll get the travel tips that will save you time, money, and frustration, and help you experience Prague the way it was meant to be discovered. The best time to visit Prague. Avoid the crowds, save money, see more. When it comes to choosing the perfect time to experience Prague, the seasons tell very different stories. In spring, from March to May, the city feels like it's waking from a long winter sleep. The trees along the Vltava River burst into bloom, the parks fill with tulips and cherry blossoms, and the air is fresh but not too cold. This is the moment when you can stroll across the Charles Bridge around 7 or 8 in the morning before the crowds arrive and feel as though you have the entire city to yourself. May is especially magical. The Prague Marathon takes place then, and the streets pulse with energy, music, and runners from all over the world. As June approaches, the days grow long and golden. Early summer is warm and lively, but not yet overwhelming. If you come in early or mid-June, you'll enjoy plenty of sunshine, pleasant evening walks, and a city that feels alive without being impossible to navigate. But keep in mind, as July and August roll in, so do the tourists. The weather is hot, the beer gardens are buzzing, and the prices climb. If you thrive on vibrant summer energy and don't mind sharing the Old Town Square with thousands of others, this might be your season. Then comes autumn, September and October. For many travelers, this is the sweet spot. The weather is comfortable, the summer crowds thin out, and the city glows with red and golden leaves. Imagine climbing up to Prague Castle as the sun sets, the rooftops below bathed in soft amber light. October adds another layer of magic with the Signal Festival, when light installations transform the city into an open-air gallery. A jacket and an umbrella will keep you cozy as you wander cobblestone streets under glowing lanterns. Winter in Prague is a different world altogether. From November to February, the city slows down, prices drop, and snow often dusts the spires and squares. It's the perfect season if you're seeking a quieter, more atmospheric experience. December is the exception. Christmas markets light up Old Town Square and Wenceslas Square, drawing visitors from all over Europe. Yes, it's cold, but sipping hot mulled wine while strolling among twinkling lights and wooden stalls is an unforgettable experience. No matter when you visit, there's one secret to truly enjoying Prague. Wake up early. At sunrise, the city belongs to you. Stand on Charles Bridge with only the sound of your footsteps echoing on the cobblestones. Watch the astronomical clock strike 8 a.m. before the crowds arrive, and let the city's magic sink in. The best and cheapest way to get from Prague Airport to the city. Landing at Václav Havel Airport in Prague, your first question will be, how do I reach the city center? The good news is that it's fast, reliable, and surprisingly cheap if you know what to do. The smartest way is to take public transport. From either terminal, head straight to bus number 119. Don't worry about where to get off. You simply ride it all the way to the last stop, Nádraží Veleslavín. The ride takes about 15 minutes, and everyone leaves the bus there, so it's impossible to miss. From that stop, follow the signs into the metro station. You'll join the Green Line, Line A, which runs straight into the heart of the city. In less than 20 minutes, you can step out at Můstek or Museum, right on Wenceslas Square, or continue further to Old Town. In total, from the airport to downtown takes about 30 to 35 minutes. The price? Just 40 Czech crowns, about $1.50. You can buy a 90-minute ticket from the machines in the airport terminal using your card, or via the official transport app. If you plan to use the metro and trams during your stay, consider buying a day pass or even the Prague Visitor Pass, which covers unlimited travel, including your airport ride. Here's the crucial detail many tourists miss. You must validate your ticket. Look for the yellow stamping machines as soon as you board the bus or at the entrance to the metro escalators. Forgetting to do this can cost you a $60 fine, and inspectors check often. There are other options: the Airport Express bus to the main train station, or taxis waiting outside the terminal. But locals rarely recommend them. The Airport Express costs more than double and only runs every 30 minutes, and taxis can easily charge you over $30, sometimes much more if traffic is heavy. So unless you're arriving late at night and need one of the special night buses, the bus and metro combo is the fastest, cheapest, and most stress-free way to begin your Prague adventure. Step off the train in the center, and suddenly, the spires of Prague are all around you. If you enjoyed this video so far, give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe to the Traveler's Atlas for more city adventures, travel tips, and inspiration from around the world. Why every traveler needs a luggage tracker. One of the biggest travel nightmares is losing your luggage. Hours at the airport, waiting by the carousel, only to realize your suitcase never made it. That's where luggage trackers become a game changer. These tiny devices slip right into your suitcase, backpack, or even a small day bag. Using GPS or Bluetooth, they connect to your phone and let you know exactly where your belongings are. Imagine landing at the airport and instantly checking on your phone whether your bag made it on the same flight as you. No more uncertainty, no more stress. But their use goes beyond airports. In busy cities, luggage trackers are just as useful. If you're exploring with a backpack, or even leaving it in a hotel storage room, you'll always have peace of mind knowing exactly where it is. In crowded metros, packed trams, or bustling tourist spots, that extra layer of security can make all the difference. Luggage trackers are small, discreet, and the battery often lasts for months. For many travelers, they've become as essential as a passport or travel insurance. If you want to travel stress-free and keep your belongings safe, luggage trackers are a must. We have options for both Android and iPhone users. Simply scan the QR code on the screen to find out more. Where to stay in Prague. The best neighborhoods for every traveler. Choosing where to stay in Prague can completely shape your trip. Each neighborhood tells its own story, with its own rhythm, charm, and price tag. If it's your first time here, the Old Town, or Stare Město, will probably catch your eye first. It's the heart of historic Prague. The astronomical clock, the Old Town Square, and winding medieval streets all just steps away from your hotel. Staying here means you're in the middle of the action, but it also means higher prices, packed streets, and noise that often lasts long into the night. Across the river lies Malá Strana, the lesser town. Nestled beneath Prague Castle, this area feels quieter, with cobbled lanes, Baroque palaces, and sweeping views across the rooftops. It's romantic, atmospheric, and perfect if you want charm without the chaos. The only challenge? Some steep climbs and plenty of stairs. Newtown, or Nové Město, offers a different kind of experience. Founded in the 14th century, it's now the hub of entertainment and nightlife, centered around Wenceslas Square. You'll still be within walking distance of Old Town, but accommodations here are often a little cheaper, and the atmosphere feels more modern and lively. High above it all is Hradčany, the Castle District. If you want sweeping panoramas and a regal atmosphere, this is your spot. Imagine waking up with Prague Castle just outside your window, and the city spread out beneath you. It's less convenient for nightlife, but unforgettable for views and history. For those traveling on a tighter budget, 𝐏𝐸𝐻 is a solid choice. It's just outside the historic center, but still very well connected by tram and metro. Here you'll find affordable hotels, shopping centers, and local restaurants, making it practical without losing easy access to the main sites. And then there are the up-and-coming districts. Vinohrady and Žižkov are loved by locals and expats alike, with leafy parks, cafes, and vibrant nightlife. Prices are friendlier, and you'll see more of everyday Prague life beyond the tourist trail. Karlín and Holešovice, meanwhile, bring a modern edge. Former industrial areas now turned into hip neighborhoods filled with art galleries, cool bars, and creative energy. So where should you stay? If you want to walk everywhere and soak in medieval charm, choose Old Town. for romance and beauty, Malá Strana or Hradčany, for nightlife, Newtown or Žižkov, and for better value with a local vibe, head to Smíchov, Vinohrady, or Karlín. Wherever you stay, Prague's excellent public transport makes it easy to explore, but the district you choose will shape your experience. Whether you fall asleep to the sound of church bells over cobbled streets or wake up in a trendy cafe neighborhood buzzing with locals. Exploring the world's largest ancient castle, the Prague Castle. Prague Castle, or Pražský hrad, isn't just a single building, it's a city within a city. Perched on a hill overlooking the Charles Bridge and the Vltava River, this sprawling complex of palaces, churches, gardens, and courtyards has been the beating heart of Prague for more than 1,100 years. Founded in the 9th century, it once housed Bohemian kings and emperors, and today, it remains the official residence of the Czech president. According to the Guinness Book of World Records, this is the largest ancient castle complex in the world, covering more than 70,000 square meters. Walking through the castle feels like stepping into different centuries of history. The crown jewel here is the St. Vitus Cathedral, a towering Gothic masterpiece where the kings of Bohemia were crowned. Inside, you'll find dazzling stained glass windows and the tombs of saints and rulers. If you're up for the climb, the cathedral's tower offers some of the very best views of Prague. Next, head to the Old Royal Palace, home to the famous Vladislav Hall, once used for banquets, markets, and even indoor jousting tournaments. Just steps away, you'll discover the St. George's Basilica, one of Prague's oldest churches, with its Romanesque charm and quiet, red brick interior. But perhaps the most enchanting spot is the Golden Lane. This narrow storybook street lined with tiny, colorful houses once sheltered alchemists, goldsmiths, and even the writer Franz Kafka. Don't miss the Daliborka Tower nearby, which once served as a prison in the Middle Ages. The castle grounds are also perfect for strolling. The royal gardens and open courtyards are free to explore, and from the castle steps, you'll get sweeping views of the red rooftops of Malá Strana and the winding Vltava River. If you're here at noon, stop by the first courtyard for the changing of the guard, a ceremony that adds a bit of pageantry to your visit. A few tips to make your trip smoother. Timing. The castle grounds are open from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m., but the main buildings usually open around 9 a.m. and close by 5 p.m. Arrive early in the morning to avoid the crowds. Tickets. While the gardens and courtyards are free, access to the cathedral, basilica, palace, and Golden Lane requires a ticket. There are several circuits to choose from, ranging from about $10 to $40, depending on how much you want to see. Getting there. You can walk up from the lesser town or take tram 22 to Pražský hrad, which saves you the climb. Pro tip: during December, the castle grounds host a magical Christmas market that adds even more charm. Exploring Prague Castle can easily take half a day, but if your time is limited, focus on St. Vitus Cathedral and Golden Lane. They're the highlights. And here's a smart travel hack. Instead of waiting in long lines, scan the QR codes on screen to book skip-the-line tickets and audio-guided tours through trusted platforms like Get Your Guide or Viator.com. It's the easiest way to explore this incredible complex without wasting precious time. What is the currency in Prague, and do you need cash? Prague may be in the European Union, but don't make the mistake of showing up with euros or dollars in your wallet. The official currency here is the Czech koruna, or CZK, and it's what locals actually use. While some tourist shops or restaurants might accept euros, the exchange rate is usually terrible, and you'll almost always get your change back in crowns. The good news is that you don't need to carry much cash at all. Prague is what locals like to call a tap-crazy nation. From metro tickets to museum entrances, from cafes to taxis, you can pay almost everywhere with a debit or credit card, often just by tapping your card or your phone. Even leaving a tip can be done by adding a little extra when you pay by card. Still, a small amount of cash can come in handy. Think about a morning coffee at a tiny local bakery, a beer in a neighborhood bar outside the center, or using a public restroom that charges 10 to 20 crowns. For a short trip, carrying around 1,000 to 2,000 Czech koruna, that's roughly 40 to 80 US dollars, is usually more than enough. If you do need to withdraw money, choose ATMs from well-known banks like Česká spořitelna, ČSOB, or Komerční banka. Avoid the bright yellow or blue Euronet machines you'll see all over the city. They charge high fees and give poor exchange rates. And here's a crucial tip. When the machine or a shop asks if you want to be charged in euros or crowns, always choose crowns. If you accept the conversion, you'll pay far more than you should. Be equally cautious with exchange offices. Many in tourist areas advertise 0% commission, but hide very unfavorable rates in the small print. Always check the We Buy column on the rate board. That's what you'll actually get for your money. And remember, Czech law allows you to return your exchanged cash within 3 hours if you have the receipt and you're unhappy with the deal. Whatever you do, never exchange money on the street. Scammers are known to hand out worthless foreign notes instead of crowns. The bottom line? Prague makes it easy to travel almost entirely cashless. Bring a card, keep a small amount of local currency for little extras, and you'll be ready to enjoy the city without worrying about money traps. Planning a trip to Prague? Here's how many days you'll need. Prague is not the kind of city you rush through. Its cobbled lanes, Gothic spires, and river views demand time. But how much time do you really need? If you only have 1 day, you'll get just a taste. Think of it as a postcard version of Prague. Start in the Old Town Square, watch the astronomical clock strike the hour, cross the iconic Charles Bridge, and walk up to the gates of Prague Castle for that picture-perfect view. It's beautiful, but you'll be moving fast, with little chance to slow down and soak it all in. With 2 days, you can capture the essentials. Spend your first day wandering through Old Town, the Jewish Quarter, and Wenceslas Square before an evening stroll across Charles Bridge. On the second day, dive into the Prague Castle complex. Explore St. Vitus Cathedral, Golden Lane, and the peaceful gardens. Then wander down into Malá Strana, where Baroque palaces and quiet cafes are tucked away. It's still busy, but you'll leave feeling you've truly met the city. 3 days is the sweet spot for most travelers. You'll cover the highlights, but also have time to breathe. Start with Old Town and the historic heart. Dedicate your second day to the castle and the leafy slopes of Petrín Hill. Then use your third day to see another side of Prague, perhaps the ancient fortress of Vyšehrad, a cruise on the Vltava River, or the trendy neighborhoods of Vinohrady and Karlín, where locals sip coffee on quiet terraces. If you can stretch your trip to 4 or 5 days, the experience becomes even richer. You can take a day trip to Kutná Hora, famous for its hauntingly beautiful bone church, or explore museums like the Mucha Museum and the National Technical Museum. You'll have time to slow down, linger on sunny squares, or book an evening at the opera. This is when Prague reveals itself not just as a city to visit, but a city to live in for a little while. The truth is simple. 2 days will show you Prague's highlights, but 3 to 4 days let you truly enjoy the rhythm of the city. Anything longer gives you the luxury of exploring beyond the postcard images, into the everyday magic that makes Prague unforgettable. Planning your trip to Prague? Download our free Prague travel guide by scanning the QR code on screen. Inside, you'll find everything you need to know before you go, from must-see sites and local tips to practical advice that will make your visit smooth and unforgettable. Prague Bucket List. The must-see sites you can't miss. Prague is a city that feels like it was lifted straight from a fairy tale, and the best way to experience it is to follow the rhythm of its highlights. Begin in the Old Town, or Staré Město, where the cobblestones lead you to the Old Town Square. At the top of every hour, crowds gather beneath the astronomical clock, the oldest working one of its kind in the world. The show is short, but the tower itself is worth climbing. From the top, you'll see red rooftops stretching endlessly into the distance. Around the square, the spires of the Tin Church rise dramatically, while the St. Nicholas Church glows with Baroque elegance. Just a few streets away, you'll stumble upon Havel's Market, a tradition since the 13th century. From there, follow the flow of people toward the Charles Bridge. Built in the 14th century and lined with 75 statues, it's one of Europe's most iconic crossings. Arrive at sunrise, when the Vltava River is still misty and the only sound is your footsteps on the stones. For a unique perspective, climb one of the bridge towers. The lesser town side is often overlooked, yet it offers incredible views. High on the hill sits the Prague Castle, the largest castle complex in the world. Wander through its courtyards for free or buy a ticket to step inside St. Vitus Cathedral, the old royal palace, and Golden Lane. The cathedral alone, built over 6 centuries, holds the Czech crown jewels behind 7 locks and rewards you with sweeping city views from its tower. Just below the castle, the lesser town, or Malá Strana, invites you to slow down. Here you'll find quiet squares, the John Lennon Wall covered in layers of colorful graffiti, the playful crawling baby sculptures, and the Baroque splendor of St. Nicholas Church. The New Town, or Nové Město, is where Prague's rhythm changes. Wenceslas Square pulses with shops and nightlife, while modern landmarks like the Dancing House and the rotating head of Franz Kafka show the city's creative side. For something calmer, wander up to Vyšehrad, another ancient fortress with panoramic views over the Vltava River. Its peaceful cemetery and Gothic church offer a different, quieter perspective of Prague's history. If you have extra days, Prague makes the perfect base for day trips. Just an hour away, Kutná Hora reveals the eerie Bone Church, decorated with thousands of human skeletons, alongside the majestic St. Barbara's Cathedral. For a taste of medieval grandeur, take the train 40 minutes to Karlstein Castle, built by Emperor Charles IV. If you're craving something more atmospheric, spend a night in Český Krumlov, a fairy tale town of winding alleys and a castle tower reflected in the river. Or head into nature at Bohemian Switzerland National Park, where sandstone cliffs and natural rock bridges create some of the most stunning landscapes in the country. Prague itself will enchant you with its towers, bridges, and hidden corners. But step beyond the city walls and you'll discover that the magic of Bohemia stretches far into the countryside. Can you drink the tap water in Prague? One of the most common questions travelers ask before arriving in Prague is the tap water safe to drink? The answer is simple: yes, absolutely. Prague's tap water meets strict European Union standards and is tested constantly for quality. Every faucet, every public drinking fountain you see in the city provides water that's safe, unless there's a clear sign saying otherwise. The only thing you should never do is drink directly from the river. The taste is generally neutral, sometimes slightly mineral, but perfectly fine. Locals drink it every day, and many prefer it over buying bottled water. Restaurants and cafes won't automatically bring tap water to your table. You may need to ask for it by saying "Voda z Kohutku," and in some cases, they'll still add a small service charge. For travelers, the smartest option is to carry a reusable bottle. You'll find public fountains in parks, and filling up in your hotel or apartment is easy. Using cold tap water is always best, as hot water can sometimes have a metallic taste. Bringing your own bottle not only saves money, but also cuts down on plastic waste. And if you want to pack light, a foldable travel bottle is the perfect solution. It takes up almost no space when empty and expands when you need it. If you'd like to grab one for your next trip, scan the QR code on the screen or check the link in the description below. We've listed the best foldable travel bottles for both practicality and style, so you can stay hydrated anywhere in Prague. Walking versus public transport in Prague. What's best for travelers? Prague is one of Europe's most walkable cities. Its historic center is compact, filled with cobblestone alleys, hidden courtyards, and bridges that seem to pull you deeper into the story of the city. From Old Town Square You can walk to the Charles Bridge in just minutes, and if you're ready for a climb, the castle sits about half an hour away on foot. Wandering these streets isn't just transportation, it's part of the experience. But don't underestimate the hills and the distances once you step outside the center. That's where Prague's public transport becomes your best ally. The metro has only 3 lines, but they're fast, efficient, and connect you easily to different parts of the city. The tram network is even more iconic. White and red trams crisscross Prague day and night, and Tram 22 in particular takes you past some of the city's greatest landmarks, from the lesser town to Prague Castle. Tickets are simple. A single ride costs about 40 Czech crowns, valid across bus, metro, and tram. For convenience, most travelers buy a 24-hour or 72-hour pass, which lets you ride unlimited without worrying about small payments. Just remember, if you're using a paper ticket, you must validate it in the yellow machines when you start your journey. Forgetting to do so could mean a fine of up to $60. So, which is better, walking or public transport? The truth is, both. Walk through Old Town, across the Charles Bridge, and into the heart of Malá Strana to truly feel the city's charm. Then, when your legs are tired, or you want to reach Vyšehrad, the zoo, or even just get up the castle hill without the climb, hop on a tram or metro. Prague rewards those who explore slowly on foot, but its reliable public transport ensures you'll never feel limited. Together, they make discovering the city effortless. Taxis in Prague, scam or safe? What you need to know. Taxis in Prague have a reputation that makes many travelers nervous, and with good reason. Officially, every taxi should be yellow marked, display a roof light, and use a meter. The city sets the fares, about 40 Czech crowns to start, with a rate of 28 crowns per kilometer, roughly 45 crowns per mile, and 6 crowns per minute of waiting. In theory, it's straightforward. But in practice, things can be different. Around hotspots like Old Town Square or the main train station, it's not unusual for tourists to be charged double or taken on scenic detours that stretch a 5-minute ride into 20. Some drivers even claim the city is divided into zones with different prices, which simply isn't true. So what's the safe way to use a taxi in Prague? First, stick to reputable companies like AAA Taxi, City Taxi, or Fix Taxi. These are usually found at the airport or major stations. Before you get in, say clearly, "Prosím, použijte taxameter." Please use the meter. If the driver refuses, step out and find another car. Always ask for an estimated price before starting your ride. Even better, skip hailing a cab on the street altogether. Apps like Bolt, Uber, and the local 𝐓𝐷𝐞 are reliable and popular. They give you the fare up front, track your route, and remove any chance of surprise charges. For a ride from the airport to the center, you'll usually pay between $15 and $20. But remember, public transport is often faster, cheaper, and stress-free. The truth is, Prague's center is so compact you rarely need a taxi at all. Most of the time, your feet, the tram, or the metro will get you exactly where you want to go. But if you do need a car, using an app or an official company ensures your experience is safe and keeps you from becoming another story of a taxi scam in Prague. Prague at night. Why a Vltava River cruise is unforgettable. There are many ways to experience Prague, but few are as magical as seeing the city from the water. The Vltava River winds through the heart of Prague, carrying you past its most iconic landmarks: the Charles Bridge, the National Theatre, the Dancing House, and the illuminated towers of Prague Castle. By day, the river cruise gives you a relaxed overview of the city, perfect if you've just arrived and want to get your bearings. But it's in the evening that the real magic happens. As the sun sets and the city lights begin to glow, the Gothic spires, bridges, and castles reflect in the water. With music in the background and a glass in your hand, Prague turns into a living fairy tale. There are options for every traveler. A short 1-hour sightseeing cruise if you're short on time. A lunch cruise that combines sightseeing with a buffet. And the most popular of all, the 2 to 3 hour dinner cruises, where live music, warm lights, and the skyline create an unforgettable atmosphere. Smaller boats offer a more intimate and romantic setting, while larger vessels bring the buzz of a floating restaurant. If you're planning to experience this highlight, book your tickets in advance. Cruises, especially evening ones, sell out quickly during spring, summer, and weekends. By booking ahead, you secure not only your spot but often better tables too. To make it easy, we've added 2 QR codes on the screen, one for Get Your Guide and one for 𝐕𝐢𝐬𝐻. Simply scan and reserve your tickets before you travel. You'll also find both links in the description below. Don't leave it to chance. The Vltava River at night is an experience you don't want to miss. 𝐸𝐷𝐻 explained what U.S. travelers must know before visiting Europe. If you're an American planning a trip to Europe, there's a new travel requirement you need to know about: ETIAS. ETIAS stands for the European Travel Information and Authorization System. It isn't a visa. Instead, it's an electronic travel authorization, very similar to the ESTA system the United States uses for visitors. Every U.S. traveler heading to Europe's Schengen zone will need one. Here's how it works. 𝐸𝐷𝐻 is required for short stays of up to 90 days within a 180-day period. It covers tourism, business trips, and visiting family or friends. You apply online through the official portal 𝐸𝐷𝐻.europa.eu, pay a small processing fee, and once approved, your authorization is linked to your passport. The authorization is valid for multiple years or until your passport expires, whichever comes first. That means you only need to apply once, and you can use the same ETIAS for future trips across Europe. When you arrive, border officials can still ask to see your documents and travel plans, but ETIAS makes you eligible to enter. All you'll need to apply is a valid passport, a debit or credit card to pay the fee, and an email address to receive confirmation. So, to keep your European adventure smooth and stress-free, make sure to apply for ETIAS before your trip. It's quick, straightforward, and now a mandatory step for all Americans traveling to Europe. Avoid pickpockets in Prague, our secret travel hack. Prague is a safe city to visit, but there's one thing every traveler should be aware of: pickpockets. In fact, the city has a reputation as one of Europe's hotspots for petty theft, especially in tourist areas. The risk is highest where the crowds are thickest: the Charles Bridge packed with street performers, the Old Town Square during the astronomical clock show, or the busy trams like number 22 that climb toward Prague Castle. Markets, festivals, and the metro at rush hour are also prime hunting grounds. Pickpockets usually work in groups. One person distracts you, maybe by bumping into you, asking for directions, or even dropping something on the ground. Meanwhile, another quietly opens your bag or slips a phone from your back pocket. It happens fast, and most victims don't notice until it's too late. So how do you protect yourself? A few simple habits go a long way. Never leave your bag hanging from a chair in a cafe. Keep your phone and wallet out of your back pocket. In crowded places, wear your bag in front of you. And most importantly, travel with the right gear. That's why we always bring an anti-theft backpack on our city trips. It's made from cut-resistant fabric, with hidden zippers and even a secret pocket at the back for your most valuable items. It has compartments for everything from your passport to your laptop, plus a built-in USB port so you can charge your phone on the go. It's comfortable, minimalist, and gives you peace of mind while exploring. If you want to travel stress-free and keep your belongings safe, scan the QR code on the screen or check the link in the description. We've shared the exact anti-theft backpack we use on every trip. It's the simplest way to enjoy Prague's magic without worrying about what's on your back. Stop overpaying for roaming. How an eSIM saves you money and stress. Staying connected while traveling has never been more important. From navigating with Google Maps, checking train schedules, booking last-minute tickets, to sharing your trip in real time, Reliable mobile data is no longer a luxury, it's essential. But relying on international roaming from your US carrier can be incredibly expensive. Hunting down a local SIM card at the airport or in a foreign shop is a hassle. That's where the eSIM changes everything. An eSIM is a digital SIM built right into your phone. No plastic card, no swapping trays. You simply scan a QR code, download a plan, and within minutes you're online. It works the moment you land, so you're never stuck without data. Providers like 𝐟𝐫𝐸 make this process simple. You'll find affordable packages tailored to individual countries, regions, or even entire continents. Plans can start as low as just a few dollars, with options for heavier data users as well. All of them connect you to reliable local networks, usually with full 4G coverage. Getting started is easy. Download the 𝐟𝐫𝐸 app, choose your destination, purchase the plan that fits your trip, and install the eSIM on your phone. Once you arrive, activate it, and you're connected instantly. It works with most newer smartphones, including iPhones and many Android models. Travel becomes less stressful when you know you'll always be online. No overpriced roaming bills, no language barriers at phone shops, no wasted time. Just seamless connectivity from the moment you touch down. If you want to try it for yourself, scan the QR code on the screen or check the link in the description. It's the smartest, easiest, and most affordable way to stay online anywhere you travel. The secret to enjoying Prague without the crowds. Prague is one of Europe's most visited cities, and with that popularity comes the crowds. By midday, Old Town Square is packed, Charles Bridge feels like a conveyor belt of tourists, and even the cafes are overflowing. But there's one secret that transforms your trip. Wake up early. At sunrise, Prague feels like a different city. The Charles Bridge is almost empty, with just a few photographers and joggers. The soft morning light reflects on the Vltava River, and the towers of Prague Castle glow in golden silence. It's the moment when you can actually hear the city breathe. Head to Old Town Square before 8 o'clock, and you'll see the astronomical clock without hundreds of heads blocking your view. The teen church and pastel-colored facades look stunning in the morning light. Even the castle grounds open as early as 6, which means you can wander through courtyards that will be jammed with tour groups just a few hours later. It's not just about avoiding crowds. Early mornings give you better photos, cooler temperatures in summer, and a rare glimpse of local life. Bakers setting out fresh bread, shopkeepers opening shutters, the city waking up around you. And here's a bonus. Many attractions reward early risers with early bird specials. Discounts of up to 50% if you enter within the first hour of opening. So, set your alarm for sunrise. Start with Charles Bridge, move on to Old Town, and climb to Prague Castle while the city is still quiet. Then reward yourself with coffee and a pastry at a local bakery. By the time most tourists are just leaving their hotels, you'll have experienced a side of Prague they'll never see. The biggest tourist scam in Prague you must avoid. One of the most common scams in Prague is also one of the easiest to avoid: street money exchange. It usually starts in the Old Town Square or near Charles Bridge. Someone approaches you with a smile, offering what sounds like a fantastic deal, a better exchange rate than any bureau de change. They show you a handful of bills, claim they're Czech crowns, and promise you'll get more for your euros or dollars. But here's the truth. Those bills are not Czech crowns. Many tourists have walked away with worthless banknotes, old Belarusian rubles, expired Ukrainian hryvnias, even obsolete Yugoslav dinars. By the time you realize it, the scammer is long gone and you're holding nothing more than colorful paper. So here's the golden rule. Never, ever exchange money on the street in Prague. If you need Czech crowns, use your card whenever possible. It's accepted almost everywhere, from restaurants to taxis. If you prefer cash, only withdraw from ATMs belonging to established banks like Česká spořitelna, ČSOB, or Komerční banka. Avoid the yellow or blue Euronet machines, which are notorious for bad rates and high fees. And if you decide to use an exchange office, always look for the We Buy rate on the board, confirm the final amount before handing over your money, and keep your receipt. Czech law even allows you 3 hours to return the money if you're unhappy with the rate, but only if you have that receipt. The bottom line? The water in Prague is safe to drink, but the street money definitely isn't. Stick to cards, banks, or official exchange offices, and you'll never fall victim to this scam. The dark side of Prague, visiting the Cold War bunker. While Prague is famous for its fairy tale castles and medieval bridges, there's also a hidden, darker chapter of history waiting underground. Deep beneath the Žižkov district lies the Prague nuclear bunker, a relic from the Cold War era that offers a chilling glimpse into life under communism. Built in the 1950s, at the height of Cold War tensions, this massive shelter was designed to protect up to 5,000 people in the event of a nuclear attack. For decades, it remained a state secret, completely off-limits to the public. Only after the fall of communism in 1989 was it revealed to the world, and today, you can step inside and experience it for yourself. Walking through the maze of underground corridors, you'll feel the atmosphere of fear and paranoia that defined the era. Inside, original gas masks, protective suits, and communication devices are still on display, alongside propaganda posters and military equipment. Some areas have been left just as they were, creating a hauntingly authentic time capsule. But this isn't just about weapons and bunkers. The exhibitions also give insight into daily life in communist Czechoslovakia, where propaganda and surveillance shaped every aspect of society. Guided tours often include fascinating stories of espionage, censorship, and the ever-present shadow of nuclear war. The experience is immersive and at times unsettling. The bunker is always a cool 57 degrees Fahrenheit, 14 degrees Celsius, the air heavy with concrete and history. It's easy to imagine how claustrophobic it must have felt for those expected to shelter here. Some tours even combine the visit with a walk through Žižkov, a neighborhood known for its alternative vibe and gritty authenticity. A few practical tips when visiting the nuclear bunker. Access. The bunker is only open to the public through guided tours, usually lasting around 90 minutes. Location. It's located in the Žižkov district, not far from the city center. Timing. Tours often run in the afternoon, but must be booked in advance. What to bring? A light jacket. It's always chilly underground. Duration. Plan for about 2 hours if you're also exploring the neighborhood. Visiting the Prague nuclear bunker shows a side of the city most tourists never see. It's not medieval or romantic, but it's raw, powerful, and unforgettable, offering a direct window into Prague's 20th century history. To secure your spot, scan the QR codes on screen to reserve your official entry tickets and guided tours through GetYourGuide or vtour.com, two trusted platforms for booking authentic experiences in Prague. The smart way to see Prague: book your tickets in advance. Prague is full of iconic sites, but with its growing popularity, there's one mistake you don't want to make: showing up without a ticket. While some places are free to explore, like Charles Bridge or Vyšehrad, the city's top attractions often come with long lines and limited availability. The Prague Castle is the most visited monument in the country, and on weekends or in summer, the wait at the gates can stretch for hours. Booking your ticket in advance not only saves you time, it often includes a skip-the-line option so you can head straight inside. The Jewish Quarter is another place where advance tickets are essential. The synagogues and historic Jewish cemetery attract large groups, and timed entry tickets can sell out quickly. The astronomical clock tower also benefits from reserving ahead, especially if you want a specific time slot for the views over Old Town Square. And it's not just monuments. Prague is famous for its evening river cruises, classical concerts in Baroque churches, and even marionette theater performances. These cultural experiences often sell out days, sometimes weeks, in advance. The same goes for popular day trips to Kutná Hora, Český Krumlov, or Karlstein Castle. The bottom line? If it's one of Prague's headline attractions or a special experience, book it before you travel. It saves you stress, time, and guarantees you don't miss out. To make it easy, scan the QR codes on the screen. One for Get Your Guide, one for 𝐕𝐢𝐬𝐬, and book your tickets right now. You'll also find the links in the video description. Secure your spot, skip the lines, and spend more time enjoying Prague instead of waiting in queues. Prague beyond the sights, food, beer, and culture you can't miss. Prague isn't just a city of castles and cobblestones. It's a city you have to taste, hear, and feel. Start with the food. Traditional Czech cuisine is hearty, comforting, and built for long evenings in cozy taverns. Try a steaming plate of goulash with bread dumplings, or �svitchkova, marinated beef with a creamy sauce, cranberries, and soft dumplings. Roast pork with sauerkraut is considered the national dish, and if you want something quick, look for 𝐏𝐫𝐚𝐠𝐿, open-faced sandwiches that locals grab for lunch. And yes, you'll see 𝐿𝐷𝐷𝐷𝐷, the sweet chimney cake everywhere. Fun to try, but know it's more of a tourist treat than a local tradition. Wash it all down with what the Czechs are most proud of, their beer. This is the birthplace of Pilsner, and locals drink more of it per capita than anywhere else in the world. Order a Pilsner Urquell or Budvar in a lively beer hall like �𝐻𝐿 or Lokal. If you're curious, explore the craft beer scene in neighborhoods like Karlín or Žižkov. And don't stop there. Try a glass of Moravian wine, sip Becherovka, the herbal digestif, or taste Slivovitz, the famous plum brandy. But Prague's culture goes far beyond the glass. Music flows through the city. This is where Mozart premiered Don Giovanni, and where composers like Dvořák and Smetana left their mark. Spend an evening at the National Theatre, the Rudolf Finum, or a candlelit concert in one of Prague's Baroque churches. For something more playful, step into a marionette theater, a centuries-old tradition that still delights audiences today. Even the cafe culture tells a story. From historic coffeehouses like Café Slavia, once frequented by writers and artists, to trendy specialty cafes in Vinohrady, Prague invites you to slow down, sip, and watch the city go by. To truly experience Prague, don't just see the landmarks. Taste the goulash, drink the Pilsner, listen to the opera, wander through markets, and let the local culture surround you. That's when the city becomes unforgettable. The easiest way to the best view in Prague, the Petrin Funicular. Climbing Petrin Hill on foot can be a workout. It's steep, nearly 130 meters of elevation, and by the time you reach the top, you might be too tired to enjoy the view. Luckily, Prague has a much more charming solution, the Petrin Funicular. The ride begins at Újezd, a tram stop at the base of the hill in Malá Strana. From there, the little green cable car takes you on a 510-meter journey through leafy parks with a stop halfway at Nebožíšek before reaching the summit in just 5 minutes. It feels more like a mini attraction than just transportation. Best of all, you don't need a special ticket. The funicular is part of Prague's public transport system, so the same ticket you use for trams and the metro works here too. A 30-minute, 90-minute, or day pass is valid. Just don't forget to validate your ticket before boarding. The funicular runs daily from morning until late at night, usually every 10 to 15 minutes. It can be busier on weekends or during good weather, but lines move quickly. At the top, you'll find Petrin's mini Eiffel Tower, beautiful rose gardens, and panoramic views that stretch across the whole city, one of the best photo spots in Prague. A perfect plan is to ride up with the funicular, then stroll down through the peaceful park paths back into the city. Whether you go early in the morning for crisp views or at sunset for golden light over the rooftops, the Petrin Funicular is a shortcut that makes the journey part of the experience. Is the Prague Visitor Pass really worth it? The Prague Visitor Pass promises to make your trip easier. One card that covers dozens of attractions, plus unlimited public transport. But is it actually worth the money? Here's what you get. The pass comes in 3 versions: 48 hours, 72 hours, or 120 hours. With it, you can walk straight into some of Prague's biggest highlights. Prague Castle with St. Vitus Cathedral and the Golden Lane, the Jewish quarter with its synagogues and historic cemetery, the Old Town Hall and astronomical clock, the Petrine Lookout Tower, the National Museum, and even a short sightseeing cruise on the Vltava River. On top of that, all public transportation is included: metro, trams, buses, and even the Petrine funicular. Prices range from around $70 for 2 days to just over $120 for 5 days. So when does it make sense? If you're planning a first-time visit and want to see as much as possible in just a few days, the pass can definitely save you money and time. Think about it. Prague Castle, the Jewish quarter, the astronomical clock tower, a museum or two, plus unlimited transport. It adds up quickly, and the pass pays for itself. But if your style of travel is slower, wandering through Old Town, strolling across Charles Bridge, enjoying free sights like Vyšehrad and the city's parks, then the pass might not be worth it. In that case, buying individual tickets for 1 or 2 attractions will cost you less. So the bottom line, the Prague Visitor Pass is a great deal if you're a first-time visitor who wants to tick off the major highlights in 2 or 3 days and use public transport often. If your focus is more on atmosphere, photography, and walking, then skip the pass and just pay as you go. And if you've decided the Prague Visitor Pass is right for you, getting it is simple. Just scan the QR code on your screen to order it directly, so it's ready before you even arrive in Prague. We've also added a link in the description below, so you can compare options and book your pass in advance. That way, you'll save time, skip the lines, and focus on enjoying the best of Prague without the hassle. How much money do you really need for Prague? Prague often feels like stepping into a storybook. Gothic towers, cobblestone lanes, cafes spilling onto the squares, and yet the price tag is far gentler than in most European capitals. Take accommodation. A bunk in a lively hostel can be found for as little as $20 a night, while comfortable mid-range hotels or apartments usually range from $65 to $110 for a double room. Even luxury can feel attainable here, with elegant 4- and 5-star hotels starting around $160 per night, often far below what you'd pay in Paris or London. Food is where Prague really shines. In a traditional pub, a hearty plate of goulash with dumplings will set you back just $8 to $12. At more tourist-oriented restaurants, main dishes range from $12 to $20, but wander a few blocks off the Old Town Square and you'll dine for much less. And then there's the beer. A crisp half-liter of Pilsner Urquell rarely costs more than $2.50. Even a cappuccino in a stylish cafe usually runs between $2 and $4. Getting around is equally kind to your wallet. Public transport is reliable and cheap. A 30-minute ticket costs about $1.20, a 90-minute ticket $1.60, and an unlimited 24-hour pass, just $5. A 3-day pass is only $13. Even taxis and ride apps like Uber or Bolt are relatively affordable, with a ride from the airport to the city center averaging $18 to $25. And then there are the sights. Entry to Prague Castle's main circuit, including St. Vitus Cathedral and Golden Lane, is roughly $12. The Jewish quarter with its synagogues and historic cemetery is about $20. The astronomical clock tower is $10. A short 1-hour river cruise starts around $12, while an evening dinner cruise with live music might cost $50. Yet so many of Prague's most magical experiences are free. Watching sunrise from the Charles Bridge, wandering Vyšehrad's peaceful walls, or soaking in the atmosphere of the Old Town Square. Prague isn't the cheapest city in Europe. It's pricier than Budapest or Krakow, but compared to London, Amsterdam, or Paris, it feels refreshingly affordable. Here, your money stretches further, without ever feeling like you're cutting corners on the experience. Want to discover even more of Prague? Check out these other videos for more tips, stories, and must-see places in the city of 100 spires. And don't forget to follow our channel for more inspiring city trips.